Yeah, welcome all. Uh, Actually, we are dealing with Mandukya Upanishad, that too, the first Prakaranam, the Vaithathya Prakaranam of the Gaudapada Karika. The previous session was so beautiful. Actually, when Gaudapada addresses the views of all other schools and put forth his views, that was a wonderful and lucid explanation. Bindozi is helping us to understand these things. As we know, Bindozi always talks from his level of experience and he makes our life easy to grasp these things. So we will enjoy this session once again. And I ask Bindoji to continue the same. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Jadavati. ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः प्रज्ञां सुप्रदानैः स्थिरजरनिकरैर्व्यापिविर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरतिदिशनोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् तीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नो मायासङ्ख्यं तुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विदिजविषयान् प्राश्यभोगान् स्तविष्टान् पश्चाश्चान्यान् स्वपिति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा तीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणैः पात्वसौ न तुरीयः उपनिषत् मन्त्रास् ओमित्येतदक्षरमिदं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भविष्यतीति सर्वम् ओङ्कार एव यच्चान्यत्र कालातीतं तदपि ओङ्कार एव सर्वं ह्येतद् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पात् जागरितस्थानो बहिःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्ग एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुक् वैश्वानर प्रथमपादः स्वप्नस्थानो अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्ग एकोनविंशतिमुखः विविक्तभुक् तैजसो द्वितीयपादः यत्र सुप्तो न कञ्चन कामं कामयते न कञ्चन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत् सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थान एकीभूतप्रज्ञानगण एवमानन्दमयो आनन्दभुक्तै चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञतृतीयपादः एष सर्वज्ञ एष सर्वेश्वर एष अन्तर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रभवप्ययौ हि भूतानां न अन्तःप्रज्ञं न बहिःप्रज्ञं न वेदप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृश्यम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेशम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः सोऽयमात्मा अध्यक्षरम् ओङ्कार अधिमात्रं पादामात्रा मात्राश्च पादा अकार उकारो मकार इति जागरितस्थानो वैश्वानर अकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्तेरादिमत्वाद् आप्नोति ह वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवति य एवं वेद स्वप्नस्थानत् तैजस उकारो द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षात् उभयत्वात् उत्कर्षति ह वै ज्ञानसन्ततिं समानश्च भवति न अस्य ब्रह्मवित् कुले भवति य एवं वेद सुषुप्तस्थानप्राज्ञः मकारस्तृतीया मात्रा मितेरपीतेर्वा मिनोति ह वा इदं सर्वम् अपीतिश्च भवति य एवं वेद अमात्रश्चतुर्थ व्यव्यवहार्य प्रपञ्चोपशम शिव अद्वैत एवमोङ्कार आत्मैव संविशति आत्मना आत्मानं यं य एवं वेद. So these are the Upanishad 12 mantras, the shortest of the Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. And explaining the Mandukya Upanishad mantra, Gaudapada has created the Karikas for it. So in the first Agama Prakaranam, we saw the mantras and their explanation by Gaudapada in the Karika format. To explain the unreality of Jagat Prapancham, the creation of or the explanation of Jagat in the form of Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. That statement is what is the theme of this Prakarana Granthas of Mandukya. In the Agama Prakarana, Brahma Satyam was established. Now this Prakaranam is Jagat Mithya, the experience. Jagat means the world of experiences. Is Mithya. Mithya means that which is unreal. It is not that it is absent, it is not positive, neither positive nor negative at the same time. It is unreal. To establish that, he started with the Karikas and then listed out in the last nine Karikas almost all philosophies those were prevalent during his time, and he said, including the last one, Advaita, he says that any ideation or any formation or any imaginary thing which you think as an attainable or separate from you or separate from the one who is inquiring to the truth, he will never find the truth, because the truth is his swarupa, one's own nature. So, and that is why Swabhava Atava Swarupa is the word used by that for the will. It is not only Devasya Swarupaha, and then there is no other than Deva, everything is Deva, Turiyam Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. It is the Swabhava of the the individuals who are feeling separatedness also. To prove that, here in the 29th Karika, he is using a methodology which is unique to his style. Yam bhavam darshayet yasya tam bhavam sa tu pashyati tam cha avati sa bhutva asau tadgraha samupaititam. Now, if you look at this verse, it is very clear what he is saying, that is in the yam, no, yam means for whomsoever, whosoever, yasya yam bhavam, whoever is having a certain approach towards knowing the reality, darshayet, by the acharya, shruti, or for his own inquiries, tam bhavam sa pashyati, he sees that. Now, this is to establish that those who are following the earlier done which he has refused, why they are stuck by those philosophies, or why are they going into those fields, whether it is Dvaita, Yoga, Tantra, Mantra, Japa, meditation, anything for that matter, Pranayama, or whatever it is. All those things, why are they following steadfastly? Because are they fools? Gaudapada says no, because they got initiated into that and they thought that is the reality. And in that reality, the reality is superimposed. And therefore, what happens is that the reality is there in everything, but he is approaching the reality in a misguided or a confused fashion, say, thinking that it is Hiranyagarbha, Prana, or all the things which we discussed in the last class. But unknowingly, what he is doing is he is approaching, there is only one truth. That what he is approaching is also the truth only, but not knowing that it is the truth. So what happens is that tam bhavam sapashyati sa asau bhutva tam avaticha tadgraha tam samupayati. Such a person, what happens is that he becomes so steadfast in his belief that he is approaching the reality by using that method, but the reality has its own you know potency. So what happens is that to him that reality appears, that the form in which he appropriates becomes real. Now, for example, a Dvaitin, he approaches the reality in the form of Vishnu or Shiva or Ganesha or anything. Or if he is a tantric, he using tantric method, or he is a yoga person who is using through the Kundalini method. All of them are in search of the reality, but they think that the method in which they are doing is a real method, and they will be approaching reality with that. But since they are approaching reality in that form, because there is nothing other than the reality, the result also comes through that form only to him. So what happens is that is why the upasakas are so fulfilling and satisfying in their own approach, because even though they don't have the knowledge of the reality, because of the steadfastness with which they are approaching the reality in a form which he thinks is the right thing, because he has been initiated into that, or he has studied the relevant scriptures for that. So what happens is that form meets his demands, or meets his demand in the sense he gives him the satisfaction of happiness which he is looking for. Now you will find that the same theme is reflected in the Bhagavad Gita when Krishna says, Yam Yam, those who approach me through whichever method, Tam Tam, I give them those things which they are approaching with. Now this mantra and this Karika and that mantra is more or less staying the same reality. So what happens is that he wants to see Vishnu in a stone or a Shivalinga, Shiva in a Shivalinga. That reality becomes the reality for him, and he is steadfast in that. But that doesn't take him away from the duality or not to the absolute reality which is the substratum for it. Now, many lives when you complete these type of things, then only your chitta shuddhi comes, or your you know your what you call many time when you spend on this, then only you will come to a stage that is it really what I am looking for. But some people are happy with that what they are doing, so there is nothing wrong with it, but they are not approaching the reality in the truth. They don't know what is their swarupa. They will know what is taught by the scriptures or their teachers, and that becomes the reality for them. Then the next Karika says, Etairesha pradak bhavai pradak eveti lekshitaha evam yo veda tattvena kalpayet so avishankitaha. Eshaha means this Atma, apradak bhavai, there is nothing separate from that. Advidiyatvam, which I said in the last class. Apratak bhava means there is no pratak bhava, means there is no separatedness. Yes. But pratak iva iti lakshitah. These people are confused or they do not know the reality. So they think that the Atma which is inside them and the Deva or the one which is there, Upasana, doing the meditation or the devotion unto that, they think it as separate from that, because they think that duality is a reality for them. So the Dvaitins think that the duality is a reality. The Tarkika thinks the Tantra method is the reality. The Hatha Yogis think the Kundalini is the method. There is Sahasrara and Kundalini rising is a reality. All those things. Now, when the body itself is not real, a Kundalini rising in the case of a yogi is limited only as long as the body is functional. And once the body is non-functional, what Kundalini will do in the waking state has no relevance in the dream state or the deep sleep state. They don't investigate into these aspects. They are stuck by the waking experience and what reality they face in the waking as only reality. Now this holds good even for an Advaiti. He thinks everything is in the Veda, Upanishad, and following the Upanishad mantra is the ultimate. They may chant the Upanishad mantra and everything, but without knowing the reality. That knowing here is they have to be one with the reality. As long as it's an intellectual exercise, they are not different from the Dvaitins or the Tarkika or the Tantrika or a yogi method. But what Prutak Iva iti, that separate Lakshitaha, by considering it as separate, evam tattvena ya veda saha avishankita kalpayet. So then when they do this type of a separatedness, they think that the reality is also separate from that. But one who is thinking is apratak bhavai. This Atma is not different from the every Atma. Sarvam Atma eva. Atmai Vedam Sarvam. I am Atma Brahma. One who knows this, for him Avishankita Kalpayet. In his activity, there won't be this separatedness. He will also function in the world, but not confused with or not having a separatedness in his approach. His approach towards the life and the objects and experiences and the thing, he knows this reality in which everything is appearing. For him, there is no difference between him and others. Sarvabhuta Hidairata is the word used by the Bhagavad Gita. He will be the beneficiary. He is a benefactor for all the created ones. And for him, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, everything is in his own nature. He doesn't see that Advitiyatvam or Ananyatvam. He sees only the Advitiyatvam and Ananyatvam in everything, and he has no separatedness from it. And such a person has no what you call projection, that Jivam Kalpayet Purvam, that status is no more valid for him, because he has understood the truth, because he is not seeing apratak bhava without any separatedness. Swapnamaya yada drishte Gandharva nagaram yada tada vishwamidam drishtam vedanteshu vijakshanai. Now Gaudapada is bringing to those who have approached apratak bhava, means non-separatedness, using the Vedanta Vichakshanai, by the inquiry through the Vedanta method. Tada Vishwamidam Drishtam. He sees the whole Vishwa, the whole world, in such a form that Mayaya Yada Drishte Gandharva Nagaram Yada. Like a water appearing in a mirage or a dream city in an imagination, or in the dream any experience which is coming, same way he sees even in the waking the unreality of the experiences of the waking. Now, this is one thing which normally most of the people make the confusion here. They expect the objects of the waking should be intangible, unreal, like dream. No, please understand that. In the dream, the dreamer had a reality of his experiences himself, and his world of experiences were real. Only when he realized that he is not a dreamer in the waking, he had the futile value for the objects and experiences of the dream. The waker in the waking, if he thinks this world is objects and subject is separate and their existences are separate and they are all individually in having separate entities, such a person is still deluded. But Vedanta Vichakshana, one who has understood the Vedanta and he applies in his experience, in his practice, he will continue to see the separatedness, but he will see like the water in a mirage, even though when you know that it is not a water, the appearance of the water will not go. Same way, the Vedanta Vichakshana, the one who has established in the Vedanta that Advitiyatvam or Apratak Bhavam, he will see the world and operate in the world, but he knows the reality behind the appearances. For him, the cow will be cow, the tree will be the tree, the wife will be the wife, the son will be the son, the teacher will be the teacher, everything will remain the same name and forms. But he sees in the names and forms the reality behind the names and forms. Like the gold and the ornaments is known as gold, the water and the waves and the clouds and the droplets and the rain is nothing but water. Same way, these names and forms as teacher, student, wife, child, animal, tree, mountain, trees, everything, he will know the reality behind it is that Atma Bhavena Sarvam Bhavati. For him, everything will, he will know that it is the same matter with which I am made, the material or my Swarupa, my Swabhava or my reality is the same thing which is there in every object, even though they may appear to be separate. The water may appear separate to be as a wave or a cloud or a droplet or a snow. But the one who knows the reality, for him the separation is only name and forms. The essence is what water. Same way, the reality known by the person, he will know the reality of his own nature and he also knows that the reality of everyone. So he has a samatva bhava. He has an equanimous behavior and tasya prajna pratishtita, and his prajna, his intellect in the operational range is pratishtita, means it is firm with the knowledge of the reality. Therefore, even though he may see the duality, he knows that the reality is unreal as separatedness, but as oneness, it has got the same reality. And that is the time when he says neha nanasti kinchana. There is nothing other than that. I am that, everything is that, but that name and form may be separate, but doesn't make me separate from the animal or the teacher or my wife or son or the student, anything. They have their own room names and forms and their qualities, but in essence they are made about nothing but the same awareness. If I am not, if the awareness is not there, I myself do not exist. That is the state of my deep sleep. Same is the case if awareness is not there in any one of them. Either they will appear to be a dead body or they may not be even appearing in front of for me for an experience purpose. Neha nanasti kinchana. Atmai Veda Igram Asid. Why? Because everything was in that before. Where? In the Sushupti Avastha, where did the dream world and the waking world exist? They never existed even. And when they started as an experience for the dreamer, the waker came up, or he went into a dream world. He not only experienced the dreamer separate or the waker separate and the waker world separate, but they were all present in him as Bija Bhavam. Bija Nidra Yuta Pratnya, that is a Pratnya stage. They were all in the seed form, or there is not seed form separate. The seeds are not separate seeds inside the deep sleeper. It is a deep sleeper in the form of a potency to come and experience the dreamer or the waker which was available in the dream state. Brahmaivedam agra asid. This is Brahma. Atmaivedam agra asid, Brahmaivedam agra asid. Both are the same meaning only. Atma or Brahma are not different. Yada dvidiyat vai dhayam bhavati. But if you create a separatedness in your experiences, then you will have the limitation. You become limited. Everything else becomes a limiting factor, and that limitation will bring a sort of sense of you know limitation and fear from that. Dvitiyad vai bhayam bhavati natu dvitiyam asti, because there is no dvitiyam, there is nothing other than that advitiyam is the reality, and in that state of advitiyatvam where we will not have the fear. Abhayam praptosi. This is what Yajnavalkya tells Janaka. You have reached a state of total fearlessness because you are seeing everything as your own nature. And when you are seeing everything as your own nature, there cannot be a state of fear. That fearlessness is not from the experience, from the transactional point of view, but from the reality point of view. Yatra sarvam atmaiva bhut tat kenakam pasyat kenakam vijaniyat. Again, Yajnavalkya tells to Janaka, yatra tu asya sarvam atmaiva bhut. To such a person, where everything has become himself, sarvam atmaiva bhut. I see myself in everything. Here, see, when we are making this statement, you cannot imagine this vision from the identification of the individuality and the body. When I'm saying I am seeing myself in everything, I am not seeing from the point of view of the physical body identified as a name and form, but my nature or my reality as the awareness, pure awareness, is the same thing which I am seeing in awareness in everything. Satchidananda Swarupa. That Swarupa, that is the nature of everything. They are all existing, they are all have got awareness in it because of the existence itself is awareness. And there is no difference between that and mine, because I also exist and I also have awareness. Same is the case with every atom in the world. So, yatra tu asya sarvam atma eva abhut. Tat kenakam pashyet. When such a state comes, in that unity, how can he see the difference? Yatra anyat pashyati na anyat vijanadi na anyat srunoti. That is a statement which Narada was told by Sanaka. You don't see something different from you. Yatra na anyat pashyati. Anyat srunoti. You do not hear anything other than that. You are what anything that is being shrunoti is only for one example of one indriya, this thing, but all the sensory inputs are giving nothing but awareness. What is light is awareness, what is sound is awareness, what is touch is awareness, what is taste is awareness. Other than awareness there is nothing. The names are see, light, touch, sense, sound, etc. are names for awareness. So, anyat srunoti, there is nothing other than that is happening. Anyat vijanati. And when it happens, when the awareness is used through the sense organs, what is coming in becoming inside you is also awareness only. That tatra is that tatra kenakam vijanati. So there is nothing separate to be known, there is nothing separate to be experienced, there is nothing to be seen, etc. So yatra tu tasya sarvam atmaiva bhut tatra kenakam pasyet kenakam vijaniyat is a question which Maitri is being told by Yajnavalkya in the Brihadaranya Upanishad. Then na nirodho na cha ulpatti narbandho na cha dhadagaha na mumukshur na vaimukta ityesha paramartada. To such a statehood, one who has achieved Vedanta Vichakshana, one who has achieved that state of sarvatvam or unity, oneness or everything. In either way, in either case you look at it, there is no difference. When you say oneness or everything, there is because there is only one. To such a person, na niradaha, there is nothing prohibitive because what will he prohibit? Nacha ulpatti, there is no creation. What from where will he create? What will he create? Nacha bandho na thadakaha. Neither there is a bondage, limitation due to anything which he thinks is a nasa sadakaha, nor is he a person who is trying to achieve something. Na mumukshur na vai muktaha. Neither he is looking for his own liberation, nor he is a liberated one. Ityesha paramartada. This is the reality. At that state, when you are one with the reality, there is no difference between anything. All these names and forms and activity and achievements, anything which you want to name and name it, they have no locus standi or no reality for. This is the reality. Ityesha paramartada. Then comes the next Karika is what there is a long discussion on the Shankara Bhashyam on this particular Karika, which I am not going to deal with it because that discussion alone will run to 2-3 classes. So I am not taking that Shankara Bhashya aspect of it because he is bringing the Purva Paksha and Samadhana for all those things. So for each one of that nirado mumukshu na sadaka, if there is no moksha nor mukti nor moksha mumukshu, then why should we do all those things? That such questions are coming in this one, but that we are not getting into that hair splitting logical analysis of it. The 33rd Karika says that भावै असद्भिरेव अद्वयेन च कल्पितः भावा अप्यद्वयेनैव तस्मात् अद्वैतता शिव अयम् अस्माभिः एव. This ayam means this atma. Asadbihi eva bhavai, in the form of asat. Advayena cha kalpitaha. In using the advaya or the non-duality or the reality itself is what is being present because there is nothing other than Advaita. So what you call it as Dvaita is in reality there is nothing existing like what is called Dvaita. That is a projection from the Advaita point of view. That is also an Advaita only, but we call it as Dvaita because we are not able to see the Advaitvam or Adnanitvam. When we do not see that reality is the reason why we are projecting the Advaitam. Now like the prana, etc. Bhava api advayena eva tasmat advayata eva shiva. So in that ditiyat, what is being seen as duality is nothing but non-dual only. because it is a projection as if separated out of from the reality. The reason why that it is being separated out is due to the non-realization of the reality. Therefore, in reality, there is only one Advayata Shiva. Therefore, Tasmat Advayata Shiva. There is only one Shiva, means that pure Mangala Swarupa or Mangala, this thing, that is that pure, real, untainted, uncontaminated, or undiluted reality. Other than that, there is nothing else. Is that Advaitam Paramarthada? He has said this in somewhere else in one of the Karikas, which we saw it earlier. Na Atma Bhavena Nanedam na Svenapi Kanchana Katanchana na Pratak Kinchititi Tattva Vido Viduhu. Now he is talking about na Atma Bhavena Nanedam. Idam Atma Bhavena. This prana and Jagat, etc., which is called the Idam. Aham, Idam. That is how the separation is created. I and other than I is called this Idam. Atma Bhavena Nana Na Asti. When you are looking from the Atma Bhava, in the Swarupa Bhava, from one's own realized state of this thing, the word which is called this other than me, that as separate from Nana is not. That is why we say Neha Nanasti Kinchana. There is nothing other than that. Swena api katamchana. Now, even if you like that, if it is within the body or within one's own identification, there cannot be within oneself. There cannot be a separations. This is that Advitiyatvam which I have been referring to. In oneness, within that water or within the space, you cannot have another space. Where can another space come from one space to limit it or to experience within itself? So when our experience is being mentioned, there is no separation from our own self. Therefore, to know the Atma as an object or my own realization, my own nature, I can never know, because I am not separate from it. This separation is an imagination when it comes to the transaction, but once who realize that separation is imagination, in reality there is no separation other than awareness. Even the one who is seeing within himself, for him, that is how he comes to the resolution that just as I cannot know myself as separate as an object, that awareness which I am seeing is as objects outside is a unreal existence, because there cannot be a separate existence for an object outside me as an experience. That experience is nothing but my own nature, because I am also experience in nature. My reality is the experiencing or experience as a being. That is exactly what is being seen in every other object outside also. So there is no separation which I can really make out it. What is being done is only in the name and form outside. If I remove the name and form outside, there cannot be anything other than that the statement which I say. For example, when I say I am, without the word I, the amness cannot stand there. But the amness is the only thing with which I can exist. But suppose if I say you are, the you is always with the word are as an existence. I as an existence is always there. So what is that common between the you and I is existence. Whether the name I or you is in reality is the same existence taking two different names. When it is being used by me for expression, I call it I am. When you express it, you say I am. So when you are also I am also I am. But from my point of view, you become you are. From your point of view, I become you are. It is only a transactional method of separation. In reality, both of us are, what we are experiencing is our own existence. So existence being the reality, this apparent separation is not a established reality. Therefore, tattvavidaha viduhu, the those who know the reality, they know the truth. What is that? Nana kinchit pratak na apratak iti. There is nothing which you can call it as separate from one another. Is that it is that if you are really looking into that, it is that separation of only by the name and form which we can make it. Therefore it is only that advaita or the non-duality is the only reality what is left. Vidaraga bayakrodair vimukto dharmu nir munir भेदपारगैः निर्विकल्पो ह्ययं दृष्टः प्रपञ्चोपशमम् अद्वयः वीतरागवदक्रोध. Due to the raga, bhaya, krodha, etc., that is desire, fear, anger, etc., which have been removed, or those who have crossed over these limitations of desire, anger, etc., Veda Paragai, those who have understood the reality of the Veda through the Vedas and the reality of the Upanishad meaning, Munibihi, they are all called Mananashila or the Muni, who have become so much convinced about the reality of the Shastra Vakyas and what they have. It has become their nature because they have been practicing their life, living that by abandoning their temptations for the world of forward. Prapanchopashama, what is that happening is that when that prapanchopashama happens, the prapancha is existing only when you have raga, bhida, raga, bhaya, krodha, etc. If you don't have a desire, anything existing in front of you has no relevance to you. If you don't have a fear for anything which is there for to reduce you or limit you, you don't have that. And when the expectations are not there, there is no question of anger or anything. Expectation comes from a desire. So when the expectation is also not there, there is no anger also. So one who has crossed one over the desire, anger, etc., for him, due to the establishment of their own reality by the Upanishadic words, for them prapanchovashama, to them the world is no more there. The world of attraction is not there. The appearance will be there, but it is no more attraction. The world, whether it come in the dream or whether it comes in the waking, they see it as both as in the same aspect. For a person who has realized the temptation and the thing, everything which is coming in the dream, the appearance of the objects which can tempt and anger you appears in the waking, they do not get perturbed or they do not get disturbed by the appearances of these things. Such people are known as prapanchopashama, for whom the prapancha has become upashama, means has dissolved. Advaya hi drishti, they see everything in the pure Advaya Rupa. They see them as non-different from their own nature. Therefore, there is no way in which they get attracted towards this world of appearances. Tasmadevam viditvainam advaite yojayet smritim advaitam samanuprapya jadavat lokamachare. Now, Gaudapada here gives the instruction to those who have achieved the state, because the ignorance is in such a way that if you don't do the practice of it and achara of that, tasmat enam evam viditva, knowing this reality in this form, advaite, in the non-dual reality, smritim yojayet. Here is the word smritim yojayet. Your memory should not be calling back the experiences which you were enjoying earlier as separatedness. That should get replaced with the knowledge of non-dual reality. And in such a case, after smritim yojayet, in the memory, that is to be the one which has to come in place of all the previous ignorance, because once the knowledge, nade dvaitam na vidyate, once you know the reality, there is cannot be the duality. So once the duality comes, but if you still keep on remembering, it is just like that you knew that there is no more water there, but you still see the water, and if you get attracted by the water, you may get running towards the mirage. Or if you still want to see the rope, knowing that it is rope only, you still want to see the snope or a ghost in a post, you can still see the ghost or a snake again in the same substratum. That should not happen. That is why Advaita Smriti Myoje. That Smriti should not happen. That you should not keep seeing the ghost again in the post. Then the fear will not go. Or if you see the snake in the rope again, your fear will not go. Once you know the reality, the snake has no reality. Snake should not be seen at all. Even if this is how I was seeing the snake, you can't even bring it. That is where the Smriti comes up. Same way the post and the ghost. You knew that it is a post and the ghost was only an imagination of mine. But then for the fun of seeing the ghost again, you keep looking at the ghost. You will see the ghost, but that time you are seeing the ghost with the knowledge that it is not a ghost, it is a post again. That is where the smriti is replaced with the knowledge of it. Advaite smritim yojayet. Advaitam samanuprapya, knowing that Advaita, the unrelating, jadavat lokamacharet. You should move around in this world as if you are a dead body. No, dead body cannot move by itself. But jadavat lokamacharet means you should treat the world like nobody wants you, neither you want anything from the world. That is the Jadavat Acharya statement, but Jagadabada says. A dead body is not wanted by anybody, nor the dead body has any desire. That type of neither you have a desire for anything from the world, nor you have anything, you do anything to attract the world towards you. You are not going to be either attractive for the world, nor should the world attract you. That is the real, where you call the establishment of Advaita comes in, where you don't get tempted by anything, nor neither you get a follower. You want how many followers are following in your social media, or how many followers are, how many of your chelas are there as a guru, or all those things are all again not Jadavat Lokamacharya. You are still being and entangled by the duality of the world. But a true person who has really understood, for him the world is no more attractive, nor he will do anything such a way that he becomes attractive for the world. That is the Jadavat Lokamacharya. Then the 37th and 30th Karikas are the last two Karikas. We will complete this today. Nistudir nirnamaskaro nissakaro evacha chalachala niketascha yedir yedruchho yadruchigo bhavet. He is explaining how that Jadavat Acharya will be like that. How will it be? Yati, he means one who has attained the Yatana Shilaha, one who has practiced this Advaita as his reality, his own Swarupa. He is nistutihi. He is not attracted by the stuti, means praising of him by others. Nirnamaskara. Neither he is interested in somebody prostrating to him, nor he is worried about some why people are not prostrating to him. Niswadakara evacha. Nothing, not none of the activities which are required as a ordinary person. Swadakara, Swadakara means the dharma adi akaras, which is being done by a normal person for, that today is Ekadashi, tomorrow is, I have to do fasting, and, the Amavasi is coming, or, such type of things are called Sadakara. Nisadakara means he has no Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, nor full moon, new moon, Ekadashi, Vaikuntha Ekadashi, no Guru Purnima, nothing. Chala Chala Niketa Hacha. Both Chala and Achala. That means both moving and immovable and immovable. Niketa. For him, they doesn't make a difference. Whether his no his dependency is on a insentient thing or a sentient being, both are treated at par by him, such a person. But for him, he doesn't see the difference between them, even though they may have different attributes and everything, but he knows, knowing the reality, Chalachala Niketacha, he doesn't have any lenience or leaning attitude or dependency on these things, that I should depend upon sentient beings or I should not become insentient beings, like that. And he becomes Yadrichika Bhavet, Yadurcha Lava Santushta. He is accepting when whatever comes. He is not accepting. Whatever comes to him, it comes to him. Whatever goes out of him, it goes. He is saying, Agate Swagatam Kuryat Gachandam Na Divarayet, is what Shankaracharya has written in the Viveka Chodamani. Let things which are coming, let it come. If it comes, comes. If it goes, it goes. If something goes from the body, also he goes. Something is lost, it is lost. Yadricha, Yadrichika Bhavet. He becomes yet just spontaneous. He doesn't have any intent or any desire or any what you call force with which he will be made to act. He becomes a a person who is spontaneous in his activities. And in the last Karika, तत्त्वमध्यात्मिकं दृष्ट्वा तत्त्वं दृष्ट्वा त्व बाह्यतः तत्त्वीभूतस्तदारात्मात् तत् अप्रच्युतो भवेत्. Tattvam adhyatmikam tattvam. So in the adhyatmikam means from within inside. In tattvam, that is only reality for him. Drishtva bahyata tattvam. What he sees outside is also tattvam, that reality only. Drishtatu tatbhudi tadarama. Whatever he is seeing, he sees everything as the tattvam or the reality, and therefore he becomes a reveling person in the reality. He revels in the reality. Tattvat aprachyuta bhave. He has never a moment that when he will be divide of or he falls from that state of ekatvam anupashyata, that unity which he sees with that in that tattva reality in everything. From that there is no falling down, no question of dethroning or no question of falling from that state, because that is his swarupa. From how can he fall from his own swarupa? From his own real nature, how can he fall from that? Therefore, tasmat aprachyuda bhavet. Therefore, such a person will become established sthita prajna, and for him he has established and nothing can disturb him. He is yadrchalava santushta. He is not. He can never be tempted by something, nor he is crying at loss of anything. He has neither thing, and because he sees everything, sarvam apnodi sarvasha. He is in and everything, in all the things. Therefore, he is everything. He is not separate from it. I am that, or that Aham Brahmasmi, that is the state of the Anubhava or his own realization with which he will be living it. Jadavat Lokamachare. He will be like moving like a dead body in the world, neither attractive nor attracted by anything. With that, I conclude today's talk. The Vaithathya Prakaranam is over. The next week, we will go to Advaita Prakaranam. ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्